Johnny, they were feeling low. Life's a grind, man, it was moving slow. Tired of the struggles, tired of the fight, they turned to the meat and it felt so right. With steaks on their plates and the grill fired up, they found a new rhythm and filled their cup. Joy started flowing, laughter's out of sight. Now they're living loud, embracing the night. Yeah, they went full carnivore and the joy has begun. Sickness and gloom like shadows they run. With every bite taken, they're feeling so great. Sharing their message, they just can't wait. So tune in, my friend, each Wednesday night. Join Real Talk with Brian and Johnny. What a sight. Oh, what a sight.
All right. Hello, everybody. It is Wednesday evening again. Johnny, how are you doing?
I'm doing great, Brian. It's good to be back. Hope you're doing well.
Yep, good. I am doing good. I'm gonna say hi to some people here in the chat. Linda is here. Hello.
Hey, Linda.
Got Paul. Hello.
What's up, Paul?
Thomas, Target Prime Rib. Hello.
Thomas.
Carnivore Jerry.
Hey, Jerry.
Rick, aka Charger Mopar, is here.
Rick.
Bacon Runner, Donna Ray. See, I said Paul already. Cynthia is here.
Hey, Cynthia. Danielle.
Daniela, I think it is, or is it Danielle? Hello?
Danielle. Hey, Danielle.
All right. If you want, just say hi as you in the chat as you get in. Hit the like button, share with your friends, let them know we're live. And topic tonight, we're kind of getting into spring. It's March, so we want to talk about spring a little bit. So carnivore spring grilling. And talk a little bit about the differences between charcoal smoker grills and gas grills, and maybe best meats to cook in different grilling options and tips, that kind of stuff. We want to hear your tips as well, so let us know what all you've got for that, and we'll go from there. Yes, I must have ate all the frosting. They were out.
National shortage.
Yeah. All right. So, you want to get us started like usual on our topic tonight, Johnny?
Sure, Brian. So, yesterday here it was in the 40s. Today it was 76 degrees and sunny. Finally, it feels like we're turning the corner. Spring is about to be sprung. We moved the clocks back this coming Saturday, so we're getting really headed into spring. And one of the advantages, I think, of spring and summer is being able to cook outside. Now, I cook my meals, inside. Most of us do, obviously, throughout this part of the year, unless you have, like you, Brian, a smoker out kind of in your garage where you can open the door. But my wife complains that my house smells like bacon every day, because I have bacon and eggs for breakfast every day. So between bacon and eggs, burger patties, or steak, the inside of my house always smells like meat is cooking. So it will be nice to be able to get outside and cook, different methods. A couple of years ago, when I came off the road from driving a tractor trailer and went back to work at Lowe's, my wife bought me a griddle, one of those griddles. It's not the what's the popular brand that everybody has, the
Blackstone.
Yeah, it's kind of like the Sam's version. It's a Blackstone knockoff. It's the Members Mark, but it looks just like the Blackstone. It's a 4-burner. It uses the 5-gallon propane tank or whatever, and it's great. I love using it. I can crank that thing up. I can sear my steaks, sear my roast if I'm going to put it in the crock pot or whatever. That's cool. I have a charcoal grill. I do not have a gas grill. My wife, and I tend to agree with her. The charcoal, especially if you can get like the wood chips to put in there, just so much better. Now, obviously, it's probably a little bit cheaper and a whole lot more convenient just to use a gas grill. And we used to have a gas grill, but when it finally, rusted out and broke down, we replaced it with a big, nice charcoal grill. But then you have the expense of charcoal, right? Plus the time it takes to get the charcoal going, let it burn down, burn some of the lighter fluid and all off it, and kind of get it. So it's one of those things. It's a double-edged sword. I do enjoy cooking outside, but really, it's not as convenient, with the exception of my my Blackstone knockoff griddle. Brian, I know you've got the smoker. When I was at your house, you cooked a couple of steaks for me, you and my wife, on that smoker. I don't have a smoker. I want to get one. But what do you think about that? Being able to go outside and cook and kind of take those smells outside and all that stuff. Is it something that you look forward to, or is it kind of like a little bit more inconvenient than just cooking inside?
No, I actually like it better cooking outside on the grill. For me, I like the flavor, the smell, and everything when it's been on the grill, right? Now I will say we had a day like last week that was in the 70s, and I cooked out on the grill that day. I was like, yeah, I'm definitely doing it. It's probably the first time I've done something on the grill since like December, or probably early December. So it's been a while. So my biggest con, I guess, to having a smoker is that, at least the ones that I know of, there's probably some others, but the ones that I know of, they all work off electricity. So if your electricity goes out, unless you have like some sort of backup generator or something, you don't really have a way to power it, right? So that's where the charcoal grill or the gas grill comes into play, that you can use that if you lose power for some reason, whether maybe it's in the summertime, there's a bad storm that comes through and you want to cook outside. Well, really any type of cooking, if you lost power, it's really hard to do that unless you have a generator or you have a gas grill or a charcoal grill. So for me, we have just the smoker, but we have a bonfire pit in the back, and
Yeah.
I could actually do like I'm camping and cook that way if I needed to. Now in the winter time when it's really cold, I'm not going to do that, but that's an option for me. So that's one thing I can do, and it not even really truly using charcoal or anything. I might use some lighter fluid to get the fire started, that type of thing, but that's how I would do that. So that's the one con for a smoker. But what I really like about the smoker is that you can do so many different things. You can do you really can control the temperature very well. So you can do very low heat, cooking low and slow, like if you want to do, for instance, some sort of, like, I can't even think, but like let's say you want to cook a pork butt or something like that, you can smoke it for 12 hours or something even. And so that's a really nice option. Now the smoker I also have a setting where I can't remember the exact name of the setting, but you can kind of open it up so that the flames get higher, and you go to a higher temperature than some smokers can do. So I can like sear steaks and stuff like that as well. So I really like the smoker for that advantage, but you don't probably get that same charcoal taste. You can get like a smoked taste. So for instance, like if you do chicken, like chicken wings or something like that, you get that good, you'll notice like the meat inside kind of has that pink from smoking. And you get that really good taste there, but it's not the same as like the charcoal type of taste. Like I remember from when I was a kid, we had a charcoal grill, and that's how we used to do steaks and burgers and stuff like that. So I always enjoyed that. So a lot of different options out there. And I didn't even talk about the griddle that you talked about. I know somebody that has one, and I've used it a few times. So those are pretty nice too, because you can cook so many different things. You can cook eggs on them and so forth. So yeah, there has not been really much. There's a couple. See, I don't know if we're having that weird thing happening with comments again, because I've only seen a few, but there hasn't been a lot about the grills. Rick is saying, why buy charcoal when you can make your own? I've never looked into that, so I'm not sure how you would make charcoal, but I'm sure you can, right? So it'll be interesting to see how that works. And then Paul says, my first Weber Kettle lasted 22 years. Wow. That's the other thing I've noticed with the smokers. Because I used to have a gas grill. I think my gas grill I had typically would last about 10 years or so. The smoker I had, the first one, lasted about 5 or 6 years. So it didn't last as long. Now, granted, it wasn't one of the more expensive ones. It was a cheaper model. So I'm a little cheap, but so now I'm on my second one. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's another thing, I guess, is the gas grills seem to last a little longer to me, I think.
Brian, the smoker that you bought, I know you just bought it. I want to say October, November of last year, right? Because your other one finally kind of played out. So you replaced it. So the new one that you bought that you showed me, that you cooked mine and my wife's steak on, was it an upgrade? Was it a little bit higher quality maybe than the previous one? I know you ordered it online.
It was a little bit of an upgrade in terms of features, but it was a little bit smaller, so it doesn't quite have the same surface space to it. And it's a knockoff brand, so it's not. Before it was a Pit Boss brand, and this is, I call it knockoff, but it's Z Grills. I guess it's not a knockoff brand, but they had really good reviews. And so if I had the same features with a Pit Boss, I would have been spending more money. So I kind of call it like knockoff, but I don't know that it's really a knockoff brand. So I don't mean to put down Z Grills, but they did have really good reviews that they lasted pretty well. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. So far, it works great. And, as we get to this time of year when the weather's warmer, I'm going to be grilling on that thing pretty much every day. I think one time last summer, I was talking to my neighbor and I was like, yeah, I pretty much grill my steaks outside every day. And he's like, I know, I see you and I smell it. I'm like, oh God, I wish I was eating that.
Now, Brian, I eat a lot of burger patties, as you know. I get that the ground beef from Sam's that's pasture, grass-fed, grass-finished, so I usually buy a lot of that. And one thing I do enjoy with the charcoal grill is, because I'm just making burger patties, I can use just a small amount of charcoal and maybe just use like a third of the surface area of my grill. I just love those grill marks. I don't know what it is, but you grill a hamburger, a burger patty, and you get those grill marks, and then I'll take it and turn it like 90 degrees for the second one, so you almost have the checkerboard effect from the grill marks. I like to let the grill get really hot before the grate get really hot before I put my hamburger on there, so that it sizzles as soon as it hits it. I just love that. And you taught me this, Brian. I'm getting to where I'm eating my even my burgers more medium versus well done. I mean, I ate well done my whole life, but I'm really backing it back. And even my burgers, I'm starting to eat them a lot more, a little closer to medium, not medium rare, but just medium, kind of really pink on the inside. But I still love that char. I don't know what it is. And I've read over the years, that's not good for you. It can cause cancer, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I just love that char, the grill marks on there. But I'll tell you one thing I really love, and I haven't done this lately, but I'll do this. I think I'm going to do this more this year. I love hot dogs on a grill. Just regular, like the Brian hot dogs or the Ballpark hot dogs. And I probably overcook them. They get a little crunchy on the outside, a little dark probably. And I could eat probably 6 or 8 hot dogs right off the grill with no mustard, no nothing. I just love those. So I'm looking forward to that. Don't really do a lot of that inside. I guess I could get one of those indoor smokeless grills. I'm just excited to get outside and cook outside again.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. You said cook outside. Most of the time, at least where we live, there's a lot of sun starting with this time of year. So you're getting a lot of good sun and, getting that vitamin D being made by your body and so forth. So that's a good thing. I'm going to say about the medium rare stuff, you got to step up your game, because I've been doing medium rare for the longest time, but I think I'm actually going more and more towards rare. It's somewhere between medium rare and rare at this point that I cook. And, I do that because I like it that way, but also I think that you're cooking less of the nutrients out doing that. So you're getting more nutrients out of it.
Mhm.
So I've been doing that. Let's look at some comments. Cynthia says she likes cooking in the fire pit. Yep. You were talking about hot dogs. Hot dogs are great in a fire pit. Costco, we have Costco by us. They have those quarter-pound hot dogs. They're like twice as long as like a normal hot dog. I love getting those, and you can cook those on the grill,
And that,
fire pit, whatever.
and the Nathan's brand? Is it the Nathan's brand?
It's Kirkland. Kirkland's
Oh,
the brand.
right.
It's the Costco brand. Yeah. Yep.
Brian, do you have a grate? I
Um,
was going to ask Cynthia too. Do you have when you cook on the fire pit, do you have some type of grate that goes over top of that?
what I usually do is I will have like a pan or something, and you can actually hold the pan with like a glove or something like that, or you can have some sort of a grate or something that like maybe stands up and do it that way. But a lot of times I'll do that, or like if I'm doing hot dogs, I have like you see people do like s'mores and stuff like that at a fire where they have those like long sticks. So you can just get a stick from the yard or whatever, or you can have like those sticks you can buy at the store. And I like to use those and put the hot dogs connected to the end, and then you just hold that over the fire.
Right.
So that's one thing I like to do there. Bacon Runner says, I have a gas grill for convenience,
Cool.
but prefer charcoal. Yeah. And Rick says he gets his grills from the dump. Yep. And see, Rick is so skillful. If something doesn't work on it, he can fix it easy. See, Paul said, I assembled hundreds of grills in the Carolinas for Academy Sports. So that smoker we were talking about that I got, the more recent one, just to show you how cheap I am with stuff, I didn't want to pay the $100 or whatever, $150, whatever it was, to have it pre-assembled and delivered. So it was delivered to me in the box, and I had to assemble it. Wasn't too bad. It took a few hours one evening, and I think I sat in the garage putting it together and probably only cursed a couple of times, so it wasn't too bad. I should have had Paul do it for me, though, it sounds like.
Yeah, he could have done it in no time.
Yes. Cynthia has a question. I'll let you answer this first, and then I can answer. Any slip-ups this week?
Well. My birthday was the day before yesterday, and I'm full of excuses. I've got a ton of them. And it was my birthday, and I had to work, and I didn't get off. I ended up working almost 12 hours, and I actually had a darn ice cream cone. That was my birthday celebration. I did good other than that. I've done really good this week, between last week and now. That's the only slip up. I've done really good today. I had a meat lovers omelet today and 2 cups of coffee with some heavy whipping cream. And then for supper, I had my wife had cooked a roast a couple of days ago, and I had the leftover roast and half a stick of butter. So yes, I did celebrate my birthday. I had an ice cream cone, just a standard ice cream cone, and but I'm down like 4 pounds this week, and
Good.
I mean, that's too bad, right? No, I didn't have any cake. I had ice cream and no cake, and I had it on the way home from work at like 9:00 at night. But yeah, I've had a pretty good week this week. Thanks for bringing that up, Cynthia.
Good. All right.
What about
And
you, Brian?
I did pretty good. I stayed away from the frosting this week, so I was good. No, but seriously, I did pretty good. My wife did have some lasagna thing that she made, and I swiped some of the ricotta cheese in the middle at one point, and then she yelled at me because I took the cheese out of it. So there may have been a little bit of sauce in with the cheese, but overall that was pretty good. That wasn't that bad. So I did that. And that was it. Otherwise, I've been pretty clean. I don't know if you pay attention to like some of my posts on Facebook, but it's been pretty much eggs, ground beef made into burger patties, or ribeye steak all week. And I'm almost out. I've got like one more. I got like 1.5 pounds of ground beef and like 2 more steaks left. So I got to get to Costco. And Wegmans is where I've been getting the ground beef, because I've been able to get it there for $4.99 a pound for like a 6-pound package. So I've been getting a couple packages when I go to Wegmans. So I got to get out like in the next day or two here and get some more food because I'm running out. Stephanie Smith is here. Hello. And she
Hey,
says,
Stephanie.
I'm throwing a London broil in the air fryer. It's raining now. Yeah, that's the problem. You know, when it's raining, you can't really cook outside. Excuse me. So, yeah.
Ryan, have you ever had London broil?
I have, but it's been a while. Probably a couple years.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
It's one of my wife's favorite cuts of meat, is the London broil. I haven't had it since I've started this way of eating. Be interesting. I think the last 2 or 3 that we had, there wasn't a lot of fat on there. It ended up being a little bit dry, but I probably overcooked it. I'm sure I did. But the roast, I'm not meaning to sidetrack, but the roast that my wife, she made it, I think, day before yesterday, and I finished it off today. It was huge. I don't know how big this thing was, but it was a huge roast. She cooked it in the crock pot for like 5 hours, 6 hours, and it had a lot. It had a lot of marbling in there. It may be the best roast I've ever had. She put a little bit of a dry rub that she makes on there. Did put a lot of water in there because there was so much marbling that it made its own juice from the fat, and it was delicious. She don't like the fat, but even the fat was good. Like tonight, I had probably half of it was meat, and the other half was just big chunks of fat, and I warmed it in the microwave, and it was just really good. But the last couple of London broils I got tend to be a leaner cut of meat, and so I don't know. That might probably do good on the smoker, or like she said, the air fryer. But the 2 or 3 times I've tried to do it, I don't know, it just didn't turn out good, I don't think. But they have them on sale at Foodland a lot. So maybe looking into trying that again with a different method of cooking.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. I don't think I read this comment, did I? I don't think I did. So Cynthia says, I cook just about anything on the fire pit. I've even done some canning on it. And yes, I have an old grill grate on it. Okay.
That's cool. Yeah.
Cool. I don't know, like some people in their backyard, they have like the more modern fire pits like that you can buy or have built that are, you know, with like stone or whatever. Mine is like the true old time fire pit, right? There's some rocks placed around it and a little dug up area there. And yeah. So like if we didn't have a real Christmas tree this year, but like in the past, we always had a real Christmas tree, and we'll throw that out there and we'll burn that out there and stuff. And cause it's a pretty big pit. So yeah, do a lot of good stuff with it. Pam is here. Hello, Pam.
Hey, Pam.
And yes, Cynthia says, happy late birthday, Johnny. So
Thank
yes, happy birthday, Johnny.
Thank you.
59 going on 20, I think we said earlier, right? When we were talking.
21. I'll be legal. I'm going 21. On 21. Yeah.
Okay.
59, man. And I was telling Brian earlier before we went on, you guys, I don't know. It seems surreal to look in the mirror and realize that I'm 59 years old. I'll be 60 on my next birthday. I don't know. I certainly don't feel this age. Quick fact, when I was a teenager, my grandmother would always tell me about things from the 1940s. Now, this is in the 1980s, obviously. I turned 13 in 1980. And so it seemed like she was talking about like prehistoric ancient times. Well, when I tell some of those young people I work with about the 1980s, it's the same thing to them. They feel like I'm talking about I can't even fathom that the 1980s. And it seems like to me, it was just the 1980s. It was just right there. But yeah, it puts in perspective that time marches on.
Yeah. I saw some kind of a meme that said something like when Marty in Back to the Future went back to like 1955 or whatever it was, that would be like today going back to 1995. I'm like, oh crap, really? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I got to go lay down.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Paul says London broil in that water bath and seared is great. Stephanie says butter or blue cheese makes the lean beef nice. Yes, I like to do butter for that. And like the other thing that I've been doing, that it's not lean, but my ground beef, you know, when I cook it in the pan, there's a bunch of liquid fat left over, right? Well, after it's done, I will put 3 or 4 eggs in there, scramble the eggs up with that grease, and it soaks up all the fat, and then you're still able to eat that fat that way, and it's not like it's so liquidy that it's going to give you trouble or anything. I've been doing that a lot lately. It's really good that way. My wife will look at the eggs and she's like, "There's something wrong with your eggs. They kind of have like a brownish tint to them." I'm like, "Yeah, that's the I'm like, that's the fat, the grease, whatever from the burger patties." And she just looks at me and rolls her eyes.
Those are deep fried scrambled eggs.
There you go. Oh, all right. I think we are caught up on comments. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I eat bacon and eggs every morning, 7 days a week without fail. That's my go-to. I have the pasture-raised eggs. So I'll fry up 4 or 5, sometimes 6 strips of bacon. And then I scramble the eggs. I just pour it in the bacon grease in there and cook it in the bacon grease, and it absorbs all that bacon grease. So even my scrambled eggs taste like bacon. And what could be better than bacon?
Yeah. I'm glad you brought up bacon, because bacon is another thing you can cook outside. Probably going to be a little bit harder on like a regular grill, but you can definitely cook it in the smoker. Works very well that way. My uncle has a recipe where he makes his own bacon and he will then smoke it and so forth, and it's really good that way. Something I haven't actually done on my own yet. I've got the recipe from him, so I need to do it. I just haven't had time to do it, but it's really good when he makes it, so I definitely need to do it. Yes, Pam says, "See, you're 59. Wait till you hit 65." She hit 65 this past February 1st. Congratulations. Happy birthday, Pam. A little late, just a month late. We're okay. Yes. 65 is kind of that age. Like, if you haven't already, you can retire at that point. 63, 65, somewhere in there, right? I mean, some people, I guess, do early, but I don't think you can get like Social Security until you're like 65, right? Or 67 even? I think it's 65. 62. No.
Yeah.
62.
I'm going to retire. Okay. Yeah, I'm retiring in 2 years, 11 months, and 28 days. I'm going to retire on my 62nd birthday.
Okay.
You can't get Medicare until you're 65, but you can start drawing your Social Security at 62. And none of us are guaranteed, I'm going to go ahead and start drawing mine. My wife is already retired. If I retire at 62, then she and I can kind of go do some of our bucket list stuff. I'll probably still work part-time somewhere, may work for my brother a couple of days a week. But I'm going to start drawing my Social Security and basically semi-retire, for lack of a better term, on my 62nd birthday.
Yeah. Okay. See, I'm still a youngin' here. I'm 52. But I got these 2 weddings this year, right? I get past those and I can start saving a little bit more into my savings again, because I had to kind of trim that down here for these weddings, but I can start putting more back in again. So I'll eventually get there. Cynthia just hit 65 too. I didn't realize Cynthia was that old. Happy birthday, Cynthia.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. Amy is here. Rockin' Coach
Hey,
Amy. She says, "How you guys doing tonight?" We're doing good. I'm using talk to text. I'm driving and it's spelling your name wrong.
That's okay.
Okay.
G-U-N-I. That's all right. I've been called worse.
Yeah. And Amy just recently graduated from, was it Kiltz's health coach, health, I can't think of the exact term I want to say, but like his coach certification thing or whatever for being a health coach. Nutrition coach, whatever. So congratulations, Amy.
Good job, Amy.
Yes, any time is a good time to get healthy. So nobody should ever feel like it is too late, right? I mean, I know people that have been in their 70s or even 80s that have just gotten started with doing this kind of stuff. I know somebody actually, let's see, that I think is 79 that recently started eating this way, and they're already starting to notice a difference. And like, I think it was 3 or 4 weeks, they've lost like 10 pounds and they're doing really well. So yes. Um. Oh, oops. Amy and Johnny have the same birthday. Isn't that cool?
Happy birthday, Amy. I think I
Hey,
did see
Amy.
that on Facebook. Yeah. Happy birthday.
Yeah. 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 Paul says, yeah, I'll one up all of you. I'm 70 this year. Yeah. Okay. So Amy says you can take it at 62, but you're going to get way less than you would at 65 or 67. I mean, yeah, that's true. But depending on how long you end up living, how long does it take to make back up if you don't start until like you're 67, right? That's the question everybody's got to figure out, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you draw it at 67, which is full retirement age for this crowd, so you don't draw it for 5 years. Well, I'm going to draw close to $2,000 a month, which is not enough to live on. So I'll still have to work part time somewhere. But you figure that's 24,000 a year. So that's $100,000. I won't draw if I wait until I'm 67. And if a car, crosses the center line and takes me out, hits me head on and takes me out, I don't want to surrender all that money because there's nobody for me to leave it to. I don't have any dependent children. My wife draws her own Social Security. So I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to go ahead and take mine at 62, and I'll continue to work part time. I mean, my wife and I, we've been empty nesters for a very long time, and so if I can live off it and work part time, I just don't want to wait till my wife and I are to the age where we can't go and do the things that we've always dreamed of doing. And my wife's been retired for 3 years now. So anyway.
Yeah, that's a good point. Definitely want to get out there in retirement and enjoy it, right?
Exactly.
Paul's correct here too about Social Security retirement is based on date of birth. I remember my parents, I think it was like 63 for them was full retirement. So
right.
Social Security. So yeah.
Even born in 1960, it turned to 67. They changed it based on being born either prior to 1960 or 1960 and later. Of course, I was born in 67.
So I know Amy said she was in the car and her talk to text was kind of messing up. Not quite tilts. At least it could have been worse. It could have taken the L out of there.
That's right.
But anyways, yes, kilts and the PhD courses. So Dr. Barry's and Nisha's PhD as well. I forgot she did get that as well. So yes. Lance is here. Hello. Good evening.
Stephanie says, take it.
Yes. Yeah. Take the Social Security.
Yeah.
Yes. Coach Edens is here.
Hey, Coach
she
Eden.
also just graduated from Kiltz's coaching academy thing. So congratulations, Coach Edens.
I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah. Okay, so let's see. We talked a little bit about the different grills, right? And the type. We talked a little bit about the meats, but let's talk a little bit more about meats and some different meats that we can cook on the grill, because I think we've talked a lot about ground beef, hot dogs, and steak, but there's a lot of other things you can do, especially as a carnivore on the grill. So one I'm going to put out there right now would be either chicken thighs or chicken legs. I love doing those on the grill, and I love doing them on my smoker, slow and low. Take a few hours, let them really cook up. They got such a good taste with that smoke taste. So I love doing that. And if anybody has any thoughts on different meats or whatever, or different ways of cooking something on the grill outside, whatever, put that in the comments and we'll talk about it. But Johnny, do you have one that we haven't talked about that you really like doing outside on the grill?
Yeah, Brian, I'm going to kind of speak to your heritage here because you talk about this a lot, like kielbasa or some type of sausages. Don't you make your own, correct?
Yes, I do. Yep, from scratch. Yep.
Yeah, I get the whatever the brand is they sell, the smoked sausage or the kielbasa. I love those. Especially if you put them on the grill and they kind of get hot and they kind of split open. Oh my gosh, that is amazing.
A lot of Kilts graduates of his health coaching thing on here. So congratulations, Jerry, as well. Yes, Cynthia says the same thing. We have some scholars in the house.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. That was just Kiltz's first, I think, or maybe it was his second round of people, and now he's actually opening it up where you can do it like at your own pace type of thing. The certification. So it's not like all just structured, be done from this date to that date or whatever. So yeah, he's got some different options for it. Pretty cool. Stephanie says, I love a whole side of wild caught salmon grilled. Yeah.
We didn't even talk
Salmon
about
grilled
salmon
is
yet.
good. Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah,
Stephanie,
definitely.
let me ask Stephanie a question. Do you do any other fish other than salmon? I mean, we all talk about salmon, but what about other fish? When you go to the grocery store, sometimes at the meat counter, the seafood counter, whatever, they have other like whitefish and all. I wonder, I've never really tried any of that. Like was it mahi or the what's the other one, like sea bass and things like that? I don't know. I probably need to explore more into some fish, for the omega-3s, and outside, if it has a fishy smell, it won't smell at the house because you're cooking it outside.
Yeah. It's not necessarily the best fish in the world, but I have had catfish. But it's always been catfish that I've literally been fishing and I've caught, and then I've made it. Back before my carnivore days, I used to actually use a breading and make fried catfish. But now I just do it regular, just the actual catfish without the breading, and I think it's really good. It does have a bit of a fishy taste, but I think it's good that way. Pam says, anyone cooked cube steak on the grill? I find them tough. That would be an interesting one. If it's a tougher steak, you could probably do it more so with a smoker, or if you can keep the heat really low and cook it slower in a longer period of time, and it would probably turn out okay. Some of the tougher cuts, like chuck steak, I have tried before, and unless I smoke it at a really low temperature for a few hours, it's just too tough on the grill. So it's a lot harder that way.
Well, Brian, if a person has their own cuber, or if you get to know the guy at the meat department at the store or at the butcher shop, if you can run it through the cuber twice, sometimes that can break the fibers or any of the toughness up. You know what I'm saying? When I worked for the fire department a million years ago, I would go to the store to buy the meat for our meal for the day at the fire department, and I would always have because we knew the meat guy really well. He took good care of us. He would run it through the cuber twice. And so it really kind of pulled the fibers of the meat apart, and it really made it tender. Now, I haven't tried the cube steak on the grill, but you remember, Brian, about a month ago or so, I got really kind of addicted to cooking my cube steak in bacon grease with just salt and pepper on it. Oh my gosh, it was so good. I started to do it the other day, but they were out. I went to the Food Line and they didn't have any out. I got to try it on the grill. I've got that griddle thing, maybe I should try that.
Yeah. I think with the griddle, you can control the temperature pretty good too. So that could work pretty well. Stephanie said you need to keep the cube steak firm together to grill it.
Right, true.
Keep that in mind if you do that. Talking about kilts, the new class just started today. So that's good to know. Cynthia got her forever fishing license now. So she plans on cooking a lot of fish. I haven't fished it probably since last spring, to be honest. It's been a while. I used to go fishing a lot more, so I really need to get back to fishing. So yes, I'm not old enough yet though to get the lifetime fishing thing. Pam loves catfish, so I'm not the only one. That's good. There's a lake in southern Virginia, northern North Carolina. Depending, North Carolina calls it Kerr Lake. Virginia calls it Bugs Island Lake. It's a pretty big lake. The Roanoke River kind of flows into it, and they're really known for catfish, really big catfish and so forth. So my son and I have been down there several times in the last 5-6 years or so, and we'll go down there for like a week trip or something, and we'll just catch a bunch of catfish and have catfish pretty much every day. It's great that way.
Yeah.
Let's see. Stephanie also says halibut or swordfish work. Interesting.
My wife loves swordfish. She's had swordfish before when we got into certain restaurants.
Yeah.
It's really good. They cook it on like a wooden plank. I don't know what the wooden plank does, but it comes out and it's on like a piece of wood, a little thin piece of wood, and usually really good.
Yeah, you can do salmon that way too.
Yeah, it doesn't really have a fish consistency to it. It's almost like a steak or pork consistency, but it's really good. I didn't even think about swordfish. I'm just so excited to get back outside and start cooking outside again. That's going to be great.
Mm-hmm. Paul says, as a kid, we cooked lake trout outdoors a lot. We invited Joe and Sophie. They gutted, cleaned, and cooked, and they were from Poland. Oh, interesting. I am Polish myself, so we were talking about the kielbasa earlier. Yes. Lions Stanivore podcast. Hello, good to see you. It's a great stream. Thank you. Stephanie says steelhead up by me, but it's release only. I wonder what it tastes like. I mean, it's release only, so you can't really find out unless you find it at the store. All right. Let's see. Something else I didn't really talk about too much. Maybe I did. I don't think I did. Is pulled pork. I love to smoke pulled pork outside. And the way I'll do it is I'll either just use salt or I might add some garlic powder to it. And so I do that ahead of time, right? And like the pre-basing or whatever of it. And then I'll cook it. And after it's all cooked over whatever, 8, 10, 12 hours, whatever it takes, how big it is, depending on how big it is. I'll bring it inside, let it rest, do the thing, you shred it up and so forth. And then as people take it, since not everybody at my house would be carnivore, especially if we have other people over or whatever, they can add barbecue sauce or whatever to it if they want to. And that way I don't have to do any of that. Or sometimes I'll just use like a Frank's Red Hot sauce, which isn't too bad if I want to have a little bit of sauce with it. But usually I'll just eat it plain that way with the salt on it. It's usually pretty juicy and pretty good. Yeah. So that's another one that I like to do this time of year.
Ryan, we haven't even talked about lamb. I've got to try lamb. I had at one time. There's a local restaurant here that has gyros, and I'm pretty sure lamb is the meat that goes inside a gyro. They're I can't remember what country they're from, what part of the world they're from. The gyros. What is that?
Greek.
Greek. Yeah, it's a Greek restaurant. And it's kind of like I don't want to say fast food, but there's like 6 or 8 of them in this area. And that's their big thing. And there's the family that owns it is Greek. But I don't know. I need to look at it. You may know, Brian, or somebody in the chat, I'm sure will know. Is lamb any cheaper than steak? Can you get lamb cheaper than you can get, say, New York strip or?
Yes.
And then somebody said the other day,
typically I see it for about $5 or $6 a pound, somewhere in there. So it's a little bit cheaper.
And then somebody said online the other day, I think on Facebook, said that that it's naturally grass-fed, right? Typically, lamb is always going to be grass-fed because they eat the grass. And I guess they could be put in a grain feeding trough for a while, but pretty much they're pretty much by default grass-fed. But I need to try that. We have a Costco close to us, and Sam's has it too. I'm just going to bite the bullet one day and just try it. And I might try it grilled, because it tends to have more fat content, I think somebody said, naturally. But I got to try lamb. We haven't even talked about lamb.
Yeah. Costco has leg of lamb often, and it comes from New Zealand, and it does say it's grass-fed, so that could very well be that it's all grass-fed. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's very good. You're right. It does have a good amount of fat content to it, and it's not that expensive. So yeah, again, that's something that I like to smoke on the smoker. It's really good that way. So yes. Let me catch up on a couple comments here. I think there's a question too. So Lance says meatloaf smoked is amazing. I bet it would be. Also, chuck roast low and slow on the smoker. And I'm not sure 0 to 400 wings are a nice change too. I'm not sure what does 0 to 400 mean.
Surely that's not quantity.
I mean, 400 wings might take me a while, but I love wings myself.
I love smoked wings. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah. There is when I go down to South Carolina. So when my one daughter was living in Myrtle Beach, and when we'd go down there, there's a place called, I think it was called the Grumpy Monk, and they smoked their chicken wings. They were so good. That's the first time I ever had smoked chicken wings. So now, whenever I can, when the weather's good, I smoke my chicken wings outside. They're so good that way. Okay, here's the question. Coach Eden says, remind me, Brian, is it both your daughters getting married soon? Will they have carnivore options for you? Yes, both daughters are getting married. One is getting married the beginning of May, so it's like just 2 months away. So, it's like busy time right now. My wife is really busy working with her on different things and so forth to get ready for the wedding. And then my other daughter is getting married in the fall. Excuse me. So yes, there definitely will be. I'm not exactly sure on my daughter in the fall what the food option is going to be. But the one in May here, there's going to be some different things. So he is, his nationality is Afghan. So they're going to have Afghan food. And then we're going to have some Polish food. And then I think we're going to have like chicken and stuff like that. So some of the Afghan food would be like lamb, stuff like that, chicken, like kebab type of style, that kind of stuff. And then some of the Polish food will have kielbasa for sure. My uncle has been making Polish kielbasa from scratch, I think, for like 30 or 40 years, something like that. I've only been doing it for like 15 years myself. But anyway, he and his friend will make like, I think, a couple 100 pounds normally at Christmas holiday time. And they got some pretty good commercial grade stuff, and they're going to make all the kielbasa for the wedding. So it's going to be some really good, clean stuff. We know exactly what the ingredients are and so forth. So that's going to be really good. So there's definitely going to be some good carnivore options for me, and there will be options for other people as well. So that'll be good. Cynthia says the Greek around here make their gyros using goat.
What's the difference between goat and lamb? Is there a big difference between goat and lamb?
I don't know.
I have to look that up. But anyway, I digress.
Jerry says when Butcher Box has their boneless leg of lamb on sale, it is 5 pounds for $35. Okay, so that'd be like $7 a pound. The last time I got it was last summer at Costco, and I think it was like $5.99. So that's probably pretty similar. I know I used to have Butcher Box, and their prices are a little bit more expensive, but it's also very high quality. It's like all grass fed, that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's probably a good price when you get it for that. Excuse me, on sale for that. Paul says pork, Sweetman's in South Carolina, 100-mile barbecue. You will drive 100 miles. It is that good.
Yeah, my wife and I today were talking about there's in South Carolina, there's this called the barbecue trail. It's like 200 restaurants, but of course, you can go to like some of the websites and it has the best ones, but there's like 4 different styles of barbecue in the state of South Carolina, like a mustard based, a vinegar based, a tomato based, and then a heavy tomato based. And it had all the best ones. So that's kind of a bucket list thing. Once we move down there one day when I'm off for maybe a weekend, we're going to travel and try all the different barbecues on the barbecue trail in South Carolina. And maybe we'll hit up Sweetman's. That'd be pretty cool.
Okay, cool. So my other daughter that's getting married in the fall lives in just outside of not Charlotte, Charleston, South Carolina. And the one time when we went down there, they took us to a barbecue place in Charleston, and it was very, very good. I can't remember the name of the place, but it was very good. And mentioned it to somebody else that we're going to a barbecue, someone else that lived in South Carolina. They're like, oh, you got to go to this particular place. And I can't remember what that place was, but that was the place we went to. I was like, yeah, that's the place we actually went to. And it was really good. So anyway, try thick lamb chops on the grill, like a T-bone. Okay.
Let me give that a try.
The temperature is 0 to 400 is a way to cook the wings on a pellet grill smoker. Okay. I wonder how that works. I know, like, so on my smoker, well, it's a pellet grill. There is a smoke option that I think starts at like 1 something. So I wonder what 0 to 400 actually means. I'm confused, but maybe it's just because I don't have enough experience in that, right? But I tend to do a lot of my things smoked at that lower setting, like 140, 160, 180, somewhere in there for several hours, and then I turn it up to like 225 or something. If it's something I want to get a good, like a chicken wing where I want to get like a good crispiness on the skin, then yeah, I'll turn it up higher, like he's talking 400 towards the end. So maybe that's how it works. I'm not sure. Thomas loves lamb as well.
Good to know, Thomas. I'm going to try it. I'm just going to quit pussyfooting around and just go get me some.
Coach Edens is Lithuanian, so she grew up on homemade kielbasa. Very cool. So somebody in one of my past, like the family tree thing, married someone from one of those countries that used to be part of the Soviet Union. And they had a particular version of kielbasa that was slightly different than the version that I was familiar with, which was pretty good. But it's interesting because, like, if you go to Poland, like, there's like a ton of different ways to do kielbasa, different types of kielbasa. And it's like the same thing in Germany for bratwurst, like, or well, they don't call it all bratwurst, but for sausage, I guess I should say, like, we know of like bratwurst, but that's like one type, right? There's like a bunch of different types of sausages in Germany. So it's very interesting how that all is. I don't know what Thomas is talking about. Goats are more horny, Johnny.
Okay. You see what Stephanie put right above that?
For the lamb?
Yeah, look right above it.
And that's the difference between the lamb and
one says one says nah. I get.
Oh, that's because you said what's the difference between the goats? That's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Those are more horny. Oh gosh. Okay. I'm a little slow tonight. Paul says Sweetman's is cash only. Open Friday and Saturday. Wow. This place was open all week long. And like literally, if you get there like on a weekday at lunchtime when people are out doing lunch, the line is out the door. It's crazy insane. So you got to try and get there off hours. Even then, it's still busy. So it's interesting. Yes, Rick likes to smoke and cook off an engine. I've seen him. I think I've seen him do that before in a video, or maybe he was just talking about it. But I thought he actually showed it once in a video, didn't he? I think he did.
Yeah. I wrapped something in aluminum foil, maybe, and then set it on the engine.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That's great. That's a great use of that that energy. You know, Brian, have you ever had something called a Cornish hen?
Yes. So it's basically just a smaller, like whole chicken, right? But it's like a lot smaller. Yeah.
We used to have those when I was a kid a lot because everybody would get their own. It's like one per kid, you know, when I was growing up. That's something. And we haven't talked about duck either. Obviously, Rick could tell us all, you know, what the Muscovy duck or whatever, but
yeah,
so many different things that I need to broaden my horizon because I just eat bacon and eggs and ground beef. I really need to broaden that out. And hopefully we're moving down to Aiken. We're going to live with my brother for a little while our house is being built. And so maybe we can get adventurous and try some different stuff. My brother's a really, really good cook, and so is my wife. Maybe I can talk them into trying some new things, especially with all the grill and the griddle and all the stuff we got going. Still got to buy some.
Yeah.
Can't do it until after we move into our new house and get settled, but I'm going to buy one.
Yep. I'm the same way with mostly eating the same things almost all the time. Like I'll throw chicken wings in there every once in a while, but it's usually like ground beef made into burger patties. I like to do it as burger patties for some reason. Eggs and some sort of steak, whether it's ribeye or New York strip. And then occasionally I'll have bacon. Like if I go to Costco, we'll get like a 4-pack of bacon. So like maybe once a week or so, I'll have a pound of bacon with my meal. So whatever I eat. So that's about it. I don't, it's very unusual that I venture out and do other things, right? So now that we're getting more into grilling time, summer, I'm probably going to do a little bit more of that at least. So yeah, be fun. Boy, I'm gonna murder this. I think spatchcocked. Did I say that right?
Yep.
Cornish hen marinated in citrus. Okay.
You know what spatchcocked is, Brian?
I think I've heard the term once or twice, but I couldn't tell you what it is.
So you like take the bird and you would cut like up the breastbone and cut it in half, and then lay it down like this. So you cut the breastbone.
Oh.
You don't
Okay.
cut it, you just like you unfold it, if you will. Cut the breastbone
Yes.
all the way up, and then just unfold it, and then you can cook the back, the back side, and you can flip it over and cook the underside. But I think that's what spatchcocked refers to. I'm pretty sure.
Okay. So I've seen people do turkey like that for Thanksgiving. And I was looking at possibly doing that last year, but then we didn't end up doing it. So that I do want to do a turkey some point that way. I've heard it's really good, very tender, very juicy that way. Oh, that's pretty cool. Paul's grandfather had a wood-fired smoker in his cellar that vented up through the chimney.
That's amazing. Yeah.
That is pretty cool. That kind of goes back to like Rick saying, get your own wood from the yard or whatever and just use the wood to smoke. Okay, Cynthia says she cuts it along the backbone to spatchcock a bird, not the breastbone. Okay. Yeah, it could be the backbone. I don't remember how I.
Either way, you're basically.
I saw somebody do a turkey
Yeah.
that way, and it looked really good.
Well, Brian, I have a question for you. When you make the kielbasa, do you use like natural casings, and what kind of meat goes in a kielbasa?
Yeah, so it's pork, like pork butt or pork shoulder, whatever you can find there. So if I can find pork butt at a good price, I'll do that. Pork butt and pork shoulder are pretty similar, but slightly different. So that's the meat that goes into it. And I use natural hog casings for the casing that I use.
What
And
is
then
it? The intestines?
I believe it's skin. I think
Okay.
it's the skin that's made into a casing. And then I'd have to look at it really quickly, look it up, but I'm pretty sure it's skin. And then for mine, I just have like 3 ingredients or something like that I use for like seasoning, like salt. I'll use pepper, but if you have an issue with pepper, you could get away with not using it. But I think that pepper really makes a difference in kielbasa. Oh, there's garlic, and then marjoram. That's it. That's pretty much all I use. I just get the seasoning right. I got like a mix that I know exactly how much to use, and yeah, it's really good.
What was the last ingredient you said? Did you say margarine?
Marjoram.
Mhm.
Marjoram. Let me spell it out here.
Not familiar with that. Is that a spice of some kind?
Yeah, it is. Right there, marjoram. Okay, so I guess it isn't the skin. Rick says it's intestines, and Cynthia says it's from the guts. I was thinking it was the skin for some reason, but maybe just today it looks like it's the skin or something, right?
You tell yourself that.
Yeah, it says testing casing. So yeah. So yeah. It's once you learn how to do it, it's pretty simple. You know, you need like a meat grinder to grind the pork up, unless you're going to buy ground pork, I guess. But I don't know that ground pork is going to be the same as getting pork butt or pork shoulder, and some sort of sausage stuffer. So I have an electric grinder, meat grinder, and then I have a hand sausage stuffer that you just got to do the hand crank thing on it. So my uncle, who's going to be making the kielbasa for the wedding, has all industrial type of stuff. So they're all electric. You know, it's not like same as having to do that and thing. And they're obviously bigger, so you can get a lot more done at one time. So it's pretty cool.
Ryan, how do you seal the ends? Do you seal the ends of the kielbasa?
Yeah. You just tie a knot and then you cut off the excess.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So you tie a knot to start with on one end, and then you put your sausage or your
stuff it in.
And you leave a little extra, you cut it off, tie it up, and snip off. That's pretty cool.
Yep. And I make breakfast sausage links that way using the same pork meat. You can make hot dogs doing the same thing, you know, like if you want to make your own hot dogs, that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's one thing that I've thought about doing, but I haven't done, is doing ground beef that way and making it into like a beef sausage. That's something I've thought about doing, but I just haven't done yet. But I think that would be good. I don't know if I'd really need anything other than salt in it. I might use something else. I don't know. But that would be something to kind of experiment with a little bit too.
Or maybe a half and half, mix some ground beef and ground sausage, or ground beef and ground pork together. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, you could do that.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. All right. Well, it's been an hour, and we did talk about before we went on live that we were just going to do an hour again tonight. I got up really early for work this morning. I had to go in the office, and I'm actually kind of tired. So I think we're going to wind it down here. Any last bit you want to talk about with our topic or anything else tonight, Johnny?
No, just really anxious to get started cooking back outside. Even if I go back to my standby of just the burger patties or the steak, just having that sear, that grill, you know, the grill marks on there. I'm really excited about that. And with my griddle, I can cook like a whole pack of bacon, and then I can have, you know, put bacon in the fridge. And bacon is really good cold, I think. I'll just put it in like a Ziploc bag. So, and the fact that the house won't smell like bacon or hamburger meat 24/7, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you everybody. Next Wednesday, Johnny's not going to be available. So I'm probably going to be looking to find someone to co-host with me. So we'll still have the show next Wednesday. So I plan on still having it. So you can expect 8 p.m. Eastern time next Wednesday. I'll be on live again. Thank you everybody for joining tonight, and we'll see y'all next week.
Okay. I'll be back in 2 weeks.